Hello, everybody. Hope you had a fantastic week. And here we are on Friday, and I'm ready to talk to you about the week's update and opportunities in the AI space. I'm Sudha Jamthe, and I believe this is our 8th edition of what I'm calling as Sudha Live, a quick and complete update on opportunities in the space. So, this week, the first essays from a new AI lexicon was published from AI Now Institute. It's been proposed and collected and going on for a while, and I believe they got 40 amazing shortlisted essays to redefine what does the buzzword and challenges in AI really mean. And they come up with 8 finalists, and they have published this as essays on Medium. And so they have one called Care, which is care as a tool or care as a weapon, one on maintenance, AI maintenance as care, respect, and guardianship, and so on and so forth. And one of the things that fascinates me in that is this one on, can an algorithmic system produce dissent? Can AI be for good or control? And, and it's global, covering various different areas. And specifically, there is one that interests me, given my love of data, it's called Open, Contextualizing Open Data Sets and AI by Mehtab Khan. And Mehtab explores what does open truly mean. And we all have like data trains AI, so there are public data sets. So what Mehtab does is, Mehtab is a resident fellow at Yale Information Society Project, and builds out this concept of, understanding how data sets are developed. So there's public data set like ImageNet, then how are they made available and used? And ImageNet has millions of pictures, and it's used for all kinds of object recognition. Anybody who actually tries to do any computer vision recognition would be using ImageNet. But the same ImageNet images can be used for military target identification and surveillance. It goes back to how it is labeled and how it is utilized. The power imbalances and how much of the labeling and available data set is focused on a certain region of the world, certain population of the world. It leaves behind the global south, for example. So this is a beautifully done article. So if you follow AI Now on Medium, you can actually go take a look at that. So that is one of the things that I wanted to share as an opportunity, especially this week. I want to welcome my new students who are going to be starting my Stanford Continuing Studies course on AI Artificial Intelligence Bootcamp for product and business managers. This runs from 7 to 9 p.m. for 2 hours for next 5 weeks. So you're going to hear a lot from me about that. So if you're one of my students joining me or looking at this recording later, welcome. I'm excited. And the other thing is, I did a storytellers session with Olu. Olu runs this storyteller interview conversation. It was unbelievable. For me, it was just an open fireside chat like discussion, but I felt at home with the audience, and we spoke about limitlessness, which is kind of my belief system that we should not limit ourselves. And I like to mentor and help my students and everybody. But in the world of AI, it means all of us are training data, and we have the opportunity to get involved at every stage of the AI development life cycle. That's kind of my philosophy in what I teach in AI, and help people on various different business roles, product roles, designers to get involved in the AI development lifecycle. And this week, we took that one step forward. So we have Weekly Wednesday as a speaker series where my past and present students come together. And this week, what we did is something called a LiveLab that I've been testing out and offering as part of my online courses. But we did this as part of the free Weekly Wednesday. So the AI lifecycle starts from labeling, collecting the data, labeling the data, making sure there is no bias. The data has the right set of information, the columns, feature engineering is done to meet the needs, the business need of what problem the AI is going to solve, and then go through the product, the actual model building cycle. So that's the whole AI life cycle, and then it continues on in a cycle based on the performance of the AI. We might have to go back and do more feature engineering, add in more data, or remove some unnecessary columns, and the like. So it's an on, or you put it out in the field. From the training AI, it becomes inference AI. It interacts with the customer, learns from that, and then that data is fed to improve the model. So that could be better tuning of the model from then on, or that could be a whole new version of the model. MLOps kicks in. So I've been talking to you all about the AI development lifecycle. And recently, this month's theme for Weekly Wednesday has been about AI learning pathways. So you could be the data scientist, you could be the data engineer, you could be the product manager, or the AI ethicist across any of these roles, or you could be operationalizing MLOps. You could be providing any kind of role in the data realm. And so in Weekly Wednesday with LiveLab, what we did is we decided to drill down on data labeling. And we had Somana from Playment come in and show us different ways of data labeling, different challenges in it, and then we played with the tool. So I have an open project that I'm going to be working on to take images that I've collected from my food delivery from DoorDash. DoorDash is our local food delivery company here, one of the companies here in US. And I've got images of when they drop a bag of food, they actually take a picture from front of the house and then they send it to the customer. So I've collected about 50 of those images, and we're going to use that to do computer vision, object recognition, and we could create different business cases of what kind of food was delivered, was there the bag was placed right, or what kind of conditions was it delivered in. We could create a business use case, because all problems in AI should always start with a business problem you want to solve. Variety of different use cases shortlisted to a solution. Then you do the problem statement and then arrive at the data. So for the purpose of this exercise, we started with the data. We are doing the labeling. So I'm inviting 4 people to join me. So it's going to be a 5 people project where we're going to go through this process to label the data and use that to actually get the data set tightened up, ready to go. We'll go through this exercise of arriving at a problem statement, and then we would actually go do object recognition. It's the same object recognition. If you've been a student of mine in the AV class or AV data class on Business School of AI or at Stanford, it's the same class, same AI computer vision that we'll be using in autonomous vehicles. So in fact, just before our Weekly Wednesday, I showed this picture of a camera, front view camera of Tesla, of the image and how it is identifying the road and recognizing where it is, and lane detection. So if you're interested, talk to me. You know to find me. If you're part of Weekly Wednesday, you can just reply back and talk to me. I'm going to pick only 4 people to make sure that we have diverse perspective, and we'll work on this as a live project. And if I get more than 4 people, or if I get 20 people, I don't know if I might end up doing this with 2 teams, but currently the plan is to do with 1 team as a computer vision project, starting from labeling. The other thing outside of my world, there has been amazing activity this week. So there's been this venture beat had this transform 2021 conference, and that went on till today, Friday. Amazing content. And I did share one of them about inclusive AI, a fireside chat with Jeremy King, head of engineering of Pinterest, and it was amazing to see that how they've created inclusive AI as one more layer in the engineering stack. So I'm always curious about how companies are incorporating responsible AI and inclusive AI in their AI development cycle. So it was very fascinating to see that. It was a very candid conversation. I loved it. So hopefully you were part of it, and you were watching it, or at least watch my notes as I took that on LinkedIn. And I was very lucky that VentureBeat nominated me as one of the finalists in the Women in AI, Responsible AI category. And the humbling part was I was in great company with Merv Hickok. Last week I told you she's somebody you should follow for responsible AI space, for courses, for all her offerings that she has. So Merv Hickok. Other than that, there were a lot more people. There was Sasha Markovic, Hani Ma, Lavina, Noel Silver, Yuxia Kau, and all of them are doing amazing stuff. The beauty of having women in AI is we all are doing different things, and it's a very healthy state. Even if we're all nominated together, we are supporting each other. So you'll see a lot of tweets and messages, cheering for each other. So I'm excited to follow these women. I would recommend you follow them, and make sure that you benefit from that work. And then, in fact, tomorrow there is a AI Robotics Ethics Society research conference. That's an event by the AI Robotics Ethics Society. So if you look on LinkedIn, it's called AI Robotics Ethics Society Research Conference. This is a student-run organization, and multiple universities are involved. And it's a whole, I believe it's a half day. It starts around a little before 10 o'clock, 9:50 my time in California, around 12:50 in East Coast US. Little late for Europe and Nigeria, but I think you can still get a couple hours of the conference. Hope you'll be able to join. I have no affiliation, but I went through the roster of speakers and topics, and it's fascinating. So hope you'll check that out. I do share this on, I'm talking to you on link right now on YouTube. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer that. Other than that, you can chat the questions. I definitely will answer that. Other than that, I'm planning to share this on LinkedIn. And today what I'm going to do is I have a lot of opportunities, especially for my new students. So the way I'm planning to do that is I will do a blog post for you on Medium. So if you go to Medium, so here I just typed the name of the conference in case you're watching this on YouTube and want to capture that. So I'm going to do a blog post of the various opportunities that I'm talking about here, right here. And the blog post will be on the Business School of AI blog. So let me give you that URL also right here. So it's medium.com/Business School of AI. Here I just called it blog. Yeah, so medium.com/Business School of AI. And if you follow that, each week I write a post of what we have as weekly Wednesday speakers. We get the recording. If you're signed up, you'll get the recording. You'll get an email notification. Even if you're not registered, you can actually go to this blog. I'll give a summary of what the speaker's talk was about, and I will give you the video recording. So I was talking about a lot of opportunities that's coming up this week. What are those opportunities? Julian Carbonell has published a new book called Democracy Studio. And this is it's a practical guide for AI on citizen engagement. So Julian has done case studies from Taiwan, Israel, and Estonia. It's completely about about smart cities. If you're interested in smart cities, this is an opportunity. If you're interested in IoT, this is a great space. And if you're interested in AI and data, this is wealth of information. So I've invited Julian Carbonell to come talk to us and share this research that went behind this whole citizen engagement and AI with smart cities. So Julian is going to be our speaker at our speaker series at Weekly Wednesday. So if you go to businessschoolofai.com/weeklywed, that's our speaker series. You can participate. Anybody can participate. Other than that, Maria Luciana Exante from who's the responsible AI lead from PwC, has a call for inclusive AI case studies. It's like a 3-minute survey. So if you follow Maria Luciana, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right. Maria, if you're watching this, please let me know and I'll fix that in future. So that's Maria. If you follow her on LinkedIn, you'll be able to see she's calling for inclusive AI case studies that PwC is going to put together as part of their toolkit. And then my favorite AI ethicist, Rebecca Tweed, is now working as an assistant producer for the NYU Public Interest Technology Convention and Career Fair. If you remember, I always talk about Rebecca Tweed and her work with maintaining the responsible AI tech job board, which is a humongous exercise. And she keeps it up to date. And if she runs a career fair, you can be sure that real companies are going to come with real jobs. But the proposal she's calling for is for something called a better tech NYU. And what this means is you can actually submit a proposal for a talk, and Rebecca is calling people to participate in that. And you should just check Rebecca Tweed's LinkedIn, and I will also be sure to include this actual link and details of it out in the blog that I'm promising you. Other than that, I'm super excited. I've never spoken to an Australian university. So on July 21st, I'm going to be talking about AI and AV at University of Melbourne to a new batch of students. And this Sunday, I'm going to be doing a keynote at Metro Hack, which is a high school student-led hackathon, which is run only, I believe it's US driven across US for high schoolers. So that's what I've got for you today. I hope you will connect with all the different AI ethicists who got nominated for responsible AI that I shared. You'll go read the AI Now Institutes, which follow them on Medium. You'll see the a new AI lexicon from AI Now Institute. So hope you'll follow that. And maybe I'll see some of you at the AI Robotics Ethics Society Research Conference tomorrow. And one more thing I forgot. Revati Sivaraman has got the Avengers Award from Quantify. Congratulations, Revati. If that name sounds familiar, Revati was our speaker at Weekly Wednesday, where she talked to us about NLP. And she works in automotive space, and she was talking about using NLP in her job. She was not representing her company, and she participates in a lot of hackathons. That's why she gets lots of awards. But she was talking about NLP not just as using it for a chatbot, but how to connect back to corporate systems. And so it's a end-to-end experience, and it becomes like a front end for enterprise communication. So she does fantastic stuff. She's amazing in NLP space. So congratulations, Revati. With that, I'm going to wrap up. Hope you'll connect with me, especially if you want to participate in the LiveLab project to build out computer vision application, especially for object recognition, starting with data labeling. I hope you will connect with me, and I hope to see you all either at Weekly Wednesday or one of the online opportunities that I mentioned here. And I started this more as a 10-15 minutes chat, and we've gone for 8 weeks. So thank you for that. Thank you for everybody who follows up, who shares and comments. My goal is, since my weekly Wednesday sessions happen in the morning, my morning here in Silicon Valley, I miss out on interacting with people from Vietnam, Philippines, China, Singapore. So my goal is, I'll get to interact with more of you. And I want your feedback on how should I take this forward. I'm using this as an opportunity to give you an update on what is happening in the week and what opportunities are coming up, either from my work at Business School of AI or my talks, or from people I follow and admire in the AI, AV data space, and what opportunities you can use for your continuous learning journey, whether you're my student or not. Obviously, I love you more if you're my student, but I want to see, how do you want me to take this forward? Is this useful? Because I'm very big on feedback. So if you find this useful, that I should continue on just sharing opportunities and giving you resources, that's great. And I'm going to compile this in a blog. So if you follow me there at medium.com/business school of AI, I will put all this together tonight. So you should have that ready. And before I forget, we did the LiveLab recording. Ananya Sen, who's our host at Weekly Wednesday, is getting it ready. So she said by midnight today, it will go live on YouTube right here. So you should get the LiveLab recording from last week's Weekly Wednesday from Somana from deployment, and you can look at that and then decide, okay, this is what the labeling part is involved, what does the project looks like, and then maybe you would want to follow up with me, and we can build some fun computer vision models. That's what I'm going for. But I want to do this ethically, and I want to do this collaboratively, because that is how it is done in real industry. All of us have a role in it, in how we can contribute to making AI to make it happen. And I like to do that with a more hands-on approach. And we'll do that with zero Python, because I'm a big fan of no-code AI. And that's what I teach at Business School of AI. So don't worry if you're new to AI, if you're new to labeling, if you're new to data, if you're new to computer vision, it doesn't matter. It makes it all the more exciting to learn that with me. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. Have a fantastic week and fantastic weekend and beautiful week ahead. And I will see you next Friday, if I don't see you already, on Weekly Wednesday. And connect with me on Medium at medium.com/business school of AI, or I will see you at Weekly Wednesday. And if you're not already on Weekly Wednesday on my list, and to know about future speakers, you can go to businessschoolofai.com and click on Weekly Ved and check it out. And my Stanford students, I will see you on Monday, and I'm excited to get started with a new batch. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. Bye now.